Oh God, what? All right. Hi. Some action here. I'm just trying to fix something with my tarot bot before I start streaming. I'm trying to get my chat bot fixed. Oh, okay. I think I did it. I did it. Hi, Queen of Wands and 585. Yeah, I'm doing great. I just basically connected my stream to try and fix a technical issue, but now that am talking and starting, I might as well just keep going. So let me get my cue. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, it's working. Yay. Okay. So the plan is tonight. What I've been doing lately is doing these streams from AltSpace VR, and it's great because you go in VR and you meet people in their avatars and you do their tarot readings and stuff. But what I was thinking about trying tonight is a hybrid. So I'm kind of setting up as we speak because I got a little stuck in technicalities. So just bear with me a minute and I will get everything going. Now, one thing I want to do is to get the music going. So Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Bingo. Yeah. I think I got it. Phantom Punk 007, thank you for following. Going well, getting things running just a little bit. So, okay, in a second, what am I going to do? Let me think. Okay. Well, anyway, as I was saying, at some point, after starting on the tarot table, I'm going to move into VR because I have this tarot temple thing running in AltSpace VR, and that's going to be a little later, though. That starts in about an hour and a half to do that, and that means talking to people in VR, but of course streaming, streaming to the same Twitch stream from VR. So give me a second. I'm gonna run. I gotta turn some lights on. Hold on. There. Things are slowly coming to life over here because I was away for the weekend. Okay. So, let me see. Now, I've opened up a queue, and I'm going to Queen of Wands. Ha ha ha. Okay, you are up. I'm going to jump right in to doing a reading, and we'll see what we got. So Queen of Wands, hit me with your best possible question. See what you got for me. General. Oh, okay. Queen of Wands. Question is, what is some advice I should know about growth of the romantic relationship I am currently in? All right. This is one of those things where, the tarot cards kind of, they give you those kind of hit points to check in with, the kind of thing to sort of meditate on and keep in the forefront, kind of. It's like it's kind of a little assist, basically. That's how tarot operates. Sort of in the background, it kind of has a little bit of an influence on how you look at things, and it might sort of give you an inspiration to sort of think in a slightly new way. We get into these patterns, and of course, making new ones is harder than we think. So anyway. Romantic relationship. And the subject here is growth. Okay, so here I am. I'm over at the tarot table, and I'm going to move the pieces out of the way over here. These can go right over there. And then I'm going to do some, I'm going to, let's shuffle on it. I have this there's a little place where I go sometimes to get odd things, like from Turkey. And that's what this is. It's from Turkey, actually, this little rug. Growth of romantic relationship. Yeah, sometimes it's like with relationships, there are those points where, someone wants to go sort of to the next step or stage where things sort of have to change and go in a direction. So we're looking at 3 cards representing sort of an aspect to sort of have faith in, that's existing, that's already there, that you kind of don't have to worry about. You can let it be an influence, but you don't have to really work to develop it too much at this point, because you can kind of say, well, I kind of have that in the bag. And in the middle here is something that the cards want you to really kind of focus on immediately. And on the right is kind of where you want to get to, what you want to seek. Okay, so let's turn them over and give ourselves. All right. Okay, right off the bat, we've got a reversal and we've got 2 number cards sandwiching our major arcana card. Growth of relationships. And immediately we're talking over on the left about a mental aspect. Thinking, maybe thinking the same way for a long time, maybe thinking about things similarly, going around and around. These things come up. Conversation, communication with a partner is in the swords symbol. Also, resolution of conflict. So swords have this they're how you handle engagement and discussion and planning and working through problems with people, figuring things out, and how your beliefs and your typical thought patterns influence all of that kind of work. Okay? And you're talking about that big 9. And the 9 is that penultimate card. It's almost at the culmination of things. It's almost there, but not quite. It's got a ways to go, and it means that you need to put your energy into real focus. And the word that comes out all the time for the 9 is persevere. So you have to persevere and keep really trying to develop and move forward. Keep really trying to communicate what it is that you need or want, and be open and listen. The swords have to have that back and forth in order not to become swords of conflict. Okay, they want to be communication devices rather than conflict devices. So this 9 is saying, this ability to solve things and bring projects, bring plans to their final finish, to bring things across the finish line. This is an important aspect of your personality that this development in romantic relationship needs. It needs that part of you that is able to communicate effectively and reach solutions. But it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort for the 9. But you're almost there, okay? And now something to focus on here, La Force. And let's turn it over for a minute, right side up. The Strength card has this. It's actually one of the more subtle cards in the whole tarot. It's about being able to master oneself, really. About being able to master drives, things that you don't quite understand, that are make one kind of nervous. Forces that are sometimes untamed, but you're able to master these. You're able to put them to use effectively and calmly without creating all this extra drama and chaos. You see, this person here, this figure, is doing what she needs to do to tame this animal, to control it, and she's doing it with such minimal effort. And it almost looks like she's being nice to it, and it doesn't seem to even particularly mind. It almost looks kind of playful. It has that look on the face of looking up the way a dog does when you're kind of playing around with it and maybe putting snacks in its mouth. But she has this approach with these more untamed typically these unknowable forces, these things that can sort of drive us. But she has a sort of an innate ability to kind of stay calm and understand what's going on, what's driving people. You know, the secret motives, the sort of instincts that people have. She's able to understand and work with her own and someone else's. Now, upside down reversal in the reading is saying, okay, pay attention to anything that is inhibiting that. Anything that is making you shy away or become a bit too agitated about these forces coming out of yourself or other people. You know, in relationships, there's emotions, there's all this instinctive, there's also habit behavior and things, and they can really kind of upset people and confuse people and lead to all these disagreements. But maintaining this kind of faith in your bedrock ability to handle these things effectively without going off into any extreme. That's what this card is trying to remind you about. To let the drama subside, let things be very sort of calm in the way you discuss them with the sword intellect and conversation card. But remember not to get jumpy, to get pushy, or think that there's a rush. This is not a person in a rush. This is done gently. So the upside down means be cautious about using too much force in trying to move things forward. Take the wise, easy, gentle, flowing approach. And then that brings us to what is coming and where you're going to be, what you want to seek, the condition you seek to be in. And of course, here we are now suddenly presented with the symbol of the heart and feeling and love, the cup, the 4, which is the stable, secure number. The 4 of Cups, that means there's a tendency towards seeking security and home, strength in the relationship. So what happens here is something needs to be built or is going to be built. There's a want to solidify things, to make them stable, and that's the next thing coming. But that's dependent upon this remembering to use force and suggestion gently in order to master the scenario. And that's all it uses this capability here for keeping up the effort and bringing things to their final completion, which requires thought and communication and care. So there you have some of the factors to think about. Queen of Wands, that, these are not instructions. They are hints for how things sort of work best. And, having that ease with which you handle people and ideas always has higher chance of good result than more aggressive sorts of approaches. Late night from Lexmex Games, late night from Sweden. Yeah, it must be late in Sweden, now that I think about it. Thank you, Queen of Wands. Let's see here. Yes, so anyone who wants a reading, basically what you do is you just simply type. Let me just make the thing again. So you do an exclamation mark and join. That's how you join the queue. I don't know. I think I'm going to take that Turkish rug out for now. I was using the Turkish rug to... I was doing something else a couple weeks ago, and it made a lot of sense to have all those extra colors on there. But I think for the card readings, just having the blue is easier to read. So, yeah, so VR is coming up tonight. I also have Discord. I have a Discord server with a tarot channel on it, interestingly enough. And what was, oh, here. Oh yeah, I have a tarot text discussion area. Yep. Now I should use Discord more than I do. I'm not very good yet at working Discord into things. What I do is I stream to Twitch, and I also use YouTube, but the whole Discord thing, I haven't quite figured out like exactly what its benefit might be yet. I think, okay, so what people did a few weeks ago or a few months ago is sometimes people would send pictures of like certain kinds of tarot decks that they were thinking about or were interested in. Because, oh yeah, we got into a discussion at some point about the Taschen book. Taschen has a series of books they're printing like over the last year or so on occult stuff. They're doing one now about witches, interestingly, but they did tarot. They have a big book about tarot, and it has like examples of all these cool, odd tarot decks around the world, the ones they consider, I guess, the most interesting. But it's also, as they go through the art of each of the major tarot cards, they have created basically a book about tarot, and they describe each card, and it's done really well. So there you have it. But yeah, sometimes people like to mention some books, and then people will go and buy those tarot books. They just come up once in a while, Sometimes I'll reach back and pull some of mine off the shelf behind me and look at them, because I'll remember that there's an interesting idea in a tarot book somewhere. So what do we... at some point... Oh, okay. Phantom Punk, yes, I see you in the queue. Okay, hang on. Pick next. Yes, you're picked. Go ahead. Go ahead, Phantom. Give me your question. Who's coming your way concerning love? All right. Let's go see what comes out of here. What comes your way? Okay. All right, Phantom. So we're talking about 3 cards left. This is something that we can kind of move past, something to keep in mind right away, and something we're heading toward. Who's coming in the, okay. So first of all, the first thing we've got on the left, something we can kind of move past and not worry too much about, is this 4 of coins, the number of solid stability. Okay, and it's reversed here, but it's in the material sense. So because we're talking about love, the 4 in the material sense can represent the feeling of home and security in a relationship. It can also be physical. It can also just be the physicality between 2 people. But the sense of security and safety and familiarity in that 4. And being reversed, there's kind of it can go 2 ways. Being reversed, it can be a kind of a worry, a destabilizing, a fear of losing that safety, that sense of belonging and home. But it can also represent feeling stifled within it. So something is leaving. Something is being moved beyond here that involves some doubt about security and home and stability. And whatever that doubt isn't really that important because we're leaving it behind. Whether it's a feeling of being stifled or closed in, too constricted, isolated in something, perhaps. But it's something to kind of let the worry about that subside now and move into what's actually happening in the moment. And that brings up the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is a court card, which means that she's a more long-lasting influence than this one that's receding. And she is how things are discussed, how problems are discussed, how they're dealt with, plans that are made, your interactions with someone, your conversations with them, how you express yourselves with each other, the way you mesh mentally. And this implies that the use of your intellect, your ability to communicate, is in high demand at the moment. That's something to rely on right now, to think things through and to use your power, the power you have, that strength you have, to bring your mind and put your ideas to work in order to nurture. The queens in the tarot always have this sense of nurturing and growth done in a healthy sort of a gentle way. Okay, they're not done like rah. They're done in an effective, efficient manner. So using your knowledge, your skills, your ability to communicate in the most efficient manner for the purpose of nurturing a relationship, nurturing your connection with someone. That's what the card is wanting to pull out to the foreground in this. Your ability to be the queen. To be the queen that comes up with fabulous ideas that move things closer toward healthy relationships. You can be relied upon for this kind of effort. Okay, that's what the card is saying. Hey, remember this about yourself. And now, upcoming, something to move toward, is this Fool card. This is a really big archetypal card in the tarot, and the Fool is kind of, you can almost say, well, is this what's coming? Am I going to meet some fool? No, that's not what it's saying, but it could, not in a bad way. It can mean, what is coming is a sense of adventure and play and sort of heading out down a road without a whole lot of nervous Nelly kind of, I don't know if I should do that. This Fool is able to set out on an adventure without knowing everything he has to know, and he puts up with little disturbances. He's got this dog coming along after him who's actually tearing his clothes. That happens. The dog could be playing. The dog could be saying, hey, watch out, don't go over the cliff. But he's just not particularly worried. He's just like, whatever, this happens. I'm just moving along through it. I'm going to enjoy it. I got a few things with me. But basically, all in all, this is the seeker. The seeker who goes down the road and seeks future development and growth and enjoys the whole thing. Now, this may be a quality in someone that you are going to be talking to, but tarot is really about us. It's about the person that the tarot is actually talking to. It's very seldom about some other third person. So the real strength of a reading is in what this card says about your sense of the adventure ahead in love life area, romantic area. And that sense of kind of effortless adventure without letting your worries keep you sitting at home. You just go out and you accept that there are going to be some pitfalls, but you don't mull them over constantly. When you go out with this attitude of the Fool, you have this sort of a light sense of and that radiates out, and other people notice it even though they can't define what it is. It changes the way everything works for you, because you have this thing about you that is kind of a slightly happy-go-lucky. It's like a light stepping quality where you're not afraid. And people sense it and they react to a happy adventurer positively. So this calming of the mind and use of communication skills with a gentle touch essentially calms your fears about stability or stifledness or being stuck. It calms those, and it allows you to move forward to enjoy the trip. So, the Fool card in a reading about relationships is always very sort of healthy and positive because of that ability to let things happen and enjoy the way life is. Enjoy a person for who they are. Enjoy yourself for who you are. Enjoy a partner for who they are. That's the quality of the Fool. Yeah, enjoying the moment. That's right. Which, that can be really not easy sometimes. Even for people that are typically good at it, they can get into these, you get into a rut. It's really easy. You get into a rut, you're like annoyed about something, or some crisis happens at work or with family or with friends, some crisis, and it becomes all important, and you're wrapped up in that, and you're reacting out of emotion, and you're firing off text messages, blah blah blah, back and forth, and you're like, and then at some point, if you just kind of go, hang on, what did that Queen of Swords say? It said to sort of sit quietly and just think about things in an easy way. Don't get all wrapped up in things, and just say, hey, take a breather a little bit and find out, do something you just like to do. The Fool comes in there. So, sometimes the Fool is looked at as us traveling through the tarot. It's the seeker investigating tarot. That the Fool card kind of moves through the tarot. If you were going to do an animated cartoon of the tarot, the Fool would be the character that would be sort of skipping along, jumping from one card to the next. Thank you, Fantapunk. Yeah, the protagonist. That's right. That's actually a better way of saying it. The Fool is the protagonist of the tarot. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's interesting. One could write a tarot book. You're welcome. One could write a tarot book or do something sort of set up that way, like the Fool running around, checking things out. The Fool could even be doing the talking about the tarot. That would be kind of cool. The Fool doing the talking. Almost like the book was written by the Fool. Yeah. Maybe somebody can do that. So, tarot books I often mention because, sometimes some people don't like tarot books. Like they think that they sometimes say a lot of the same thing over and over again. And I guess some do, but it's sort of like I don't really care, because sometimes I'll just grab a tarot book just because I'm on some trip somewhere, and I'll just notice it. And I don't care if it's cheesy. I'll just be like, oh, I haven't seen that. What is that? I'll just flip through it for 2 seconds. Oh, okay, I'll just get this book, and then I'll read it, and then I'll find like, oh, okay, so a lot of this book is kind of boring. I've read almost everything they're saying somewhere else anyway, except for this one little bit right here. Like these 4 pages right here are actually really good. That happens a lot, and it's like, okay, well, that was worth it. If there's like 3 or 4 pages where I was like, oh, that's interesting, then that's fine. Yeah, with detective books, yeah, exactly. Yep. Like sometimes in a book there's like a really good scene, or just a really good chapter, and when you finish the book, like 4 years later, when you remember you read that book, that's all you remember is that one little part. Which is that's totally fine. It's still worth the price of the book. You know, I mean, there are plenty of movies that I have seen, and I'm telling you, I can't remember. It's hard to remember some of them, from like even a month later. I get that way with like superhero movies and stuff. Sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, what was there a story? All I remember is somebody was flying between buildings and like smashed into the buildings a lot. And that's all I remember about most superhero movies. There were a lot of people flying around and smashing into buildings, and concrete was falling. And, yeah, Marvel. Yeah. Although the one thing I remember about the latest string of Marvel's Avengers movies was Thanatos and those jewels on the hand. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Those jewels are cool. I like that. That's the part of the Avengers movies I like. 585, hey yo. Yeah. Oh no, that's a that is that knife. Oh God, I forget the word. What is the word? Hold on. That is. I gotta Google it. Hold on. It's a specific thing. It's called. Oh man, hold on a second. Hang on, I see you in the queue. I'm trying to get the name of that. It's called a Selenite Sword. Selenite is the here, I'll type it. It's a Selenite sword because it's energy clearing. Okay. Yeah. It unblocks stagnant and negative energy and creates smooth flow of positive energy. So it like reactivates and recharges other crystals around it. Apparently, they do things with it like, you can hold the handle against your forehead and imagine it sort of draining energy, negative stuff out. And then you can hold the point to your forehead and imagine it putting positive energy into your head and that kind of thing. But it's basically clearing and positive energy crystal. I was just same way I am with tarot books. I was in a store up in the mountains And I was like, what is this basket of weird, like, crystal knives? And this guy walked over and he's like, oh, that's a Selenite sword. It is for clearing bad energy. And I was like, oh man, it's kind of cool actually. So, and the crystal is actually, selenite is very soft. So you can actually sort of make marks in the sword with your fingernail if you press hard enough. So, okay. Oh wait, so there's a game called Hollow Knight. There was a dream which created interacted with characters in dream world like cutting invisible 4D chords. Interesting. All right, 585. Let me press the button. And that means you are up next. You're up. Position 0 means you are it. Yes, ask away. Oh no, you ask. Karma fits very well with tarot. Okay. Karma. Okay, the basic idea of karma, what goes around comes around, I guess. That sort of idea. Kind of how, and karma can be with, it can be in the whole Buddhist, past life thing. It's hugely important in Buddhism, of course. But the tarot, it gives a general sense. Okay. Interesting. I think you might be the first person that's asked, specifically using the word karma. That's kind of cool. Karma. All right. Okay. We have 3 reversed cards. They're all numbers. So the numbers are basically, the very first thing the numbers suggest in a reading is that this is not particularly deep set. This is not unchangeable. This is a changeable condition. This is a condition that kind of goes like waves, up and down. So, keeping that in mind now, we have a reading that's all reversed cards. These are all reversals. Now, what we'll do is we'll take our 3-card approach and say a sort of a condition that we are moving beyond, a condition that is currently prevalent, and a condition that we're moving closer to. Okay? Material, coins, physicality. It's the 7 reversed. So the 7 is that number that normally suggests a higher state of mind, a development, a learning, an awareness. Something has dawned on us. We've become aware of something in us. And it's something that we're able to, it's an energy or a behavior or a set of ideas that we can bring and apply to everyone's benefit. Okay? So this reversal kind of says, well, there may be some hesitation, some worry about, or has been some worry something in the past, a fear of kind of change, but it's personal change. It's change for yourself and in the material sense. So it's physical, it's body, it's health, it's money, it's home, it's things that you need. And there's, maybe a rut that we were just mentioned that a few minutes ago, the word rut, getting confined in a typical way of doing things and not being able to sort of grow and adapt one's viewpoint, adapt one's mind, and make it get it elevate. That's what the 7 is trying to do. Elevate and take new directions in how one supports oneself or deals physically in life. Okay? So some hesitation there to engage that 7. But that is a past thing. Perhaps it's something that affects karma. This is something that we can see from a distance and move beyond. That worry about self-improvement, perhaps. Okay, that doubt that we can do it. And it leads now to a current condition, and it's a thinking, it's a mental one. It's the 10 of Swords reversed. And the 10 is finalization. It is saying, okay, you know what? I've thought this through and I've arrived at a conclusion, and here it is. I've gotten here through a lot of work, and I finally finished, and I'm presenting my idea. Okay? Finishing. Getting the thing done. Making the final decision. Hesitation is happening here. That's why it's reversed. There's some worry about several things, actually. Communicating ideas, communicating back and forth with someone, and reaching an agreement. It's reaching that final agreement that counts. There can be a lot of back and forth and a lot of thought and discussion, but you never quite pin things down to the final result that you're looking for. Things don't quite get where they need to go because there's a hesitation in this thinking and discussion and communication area, just like there was in this more physical area of life, the material area of life. Okay? So something needs to be moved into its final stage here, and it has to do with thinking and knowledge and communication and interactions with other people, and how you arrive at decisions and settlements. And this now these hesitating factors have an effect coming up down the road. And here again, we're in the mind, and it's the 2, and it's reversed. So what happens in the 2 is you have a coupling, you have a coming together of 2 things, of 2 people perhaps, or conflicting ideas, but they come together. They present this opportunity for future action. Okay? It's like this is the stage at which plans are being made. So if you look at it like, okay, this card is saying we've got to get past the hesitation to put plans and work on our communication. We've got to get past the holding back, and we've got to bring something to conclusion. It's the same idea over here. We now have to be willing to come together. Something needs to come together. So there's a hold up in unifying. Very similar hesitations here, because this involves a lot of mental energy over here, a lot of thought. So there's something here that has to do with development materially, physically, and some nervousness about that is having an effect now on being able to put plans and finalize more intellectual things and communicate exactly what you think. And that continues to create some difficulty in bringing together two elements, could be two people or two different ideas, to come together, to work together. So what the final idea here is let go of the past fears about developing and changing and opening up and communicating and making an effort to finalize things and make things very clear. And letting those go is what is needed in order to bring about a coming together, a coalescing in preparation for the next stage of development. So the karmic aspect, is kind of suggesting that fears in the past that are related to personal development, higher awareness, handling things in new ways, taking new risks, presenting ideas openly, hesitations in those areas have perhaps caused a bit of sort of a roadblock in coupling and unifying and bringing things together or people together into a unified whole. And of course, tarot always never just says, oh, this is what it is. It's always making a hint about, okay, well, if that's the case, here's the hint about how to handle it, how to change that. I guess you change karma by starting to do things a little bit differently, and then your karma further down the road becomes different because of that. And that's what tarot is really good at. That idea of saying, well, all you have to do is change the way you're doing certain things. Here are a few ideas, and lo and behold, you come back and you look at yourself in a year or two and you realize you did change the outcome. So yeah, keep that in mind. That this and remember, these are number cards. So these aren't huge deals. These are basically cards that are saying like, okay, instead of being all super important, like, oh my gosh, will I have children and will they be happy and successful, or will my karma prevent me from being able to pass good lessons on to my children? No, these cards are much more sort of temporary than that because they're numbers. These are more like, have I learned properly how to deal with, when they say at school that I need to do X, Y, or Z in order to develop my literary skills better. Why am I hesitant to do that? Am I able to have a discussion to solve a meeting at work about our budget next year, or why am I hesitant to do that? You know what I mean? These are number cards. They're not going to be huge, powerful karmic forces in life. These are the more sort of temporary ones. Thank you, 5 at 5. Tarot always just hints and nudges, kind of says, hey, here's a little possible notion. In career and people hesitant. Oh, how it will go. Yep. I know what you're saying. You keep thinking about how it's going to go bad. I know that feeling. You take, yeah, yeah, yeah. Take more charge and stuff. You know, I think that's what these cards are saying. The hesitation. The sword cards are always also, they're about ideas and communication, which means expression. How you express it. How do you express your ideas? You're welcome. Yeah, the green flag, yep. On the racetrack. Thank you for following 505. Oh, I better. Wow, time is. You see, when I start reading, cards, it's like weird how time goes. Okay, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna go put. I'm gonna put my be right back sign up. I will be right back. I have to run out of the room real quick. Let's see. Here we go. Intermission. Okay, I was getting my VR thing set up for the upcoming adventure in Tarot VR, which will start soon. Let's see. Oh. Alrighty. Okay. All right, I was just getting my headset turned on and ready to go. Gotta have the headset, otherwise, well, you can go into AltSpace VR in 2D just on a regular computer monitor also, which is cool. But I like to do it in the headset so I can kind of be a little bit more, I don't know, just more present for the people that come in. I mean, in VR you can wave your hands around and stuff if you've got the headset. So that's good. That's the way I like to do it. Let me switch over, make sure I'm going to... There we go. VR world has popped up. Here, what I'm going to do is go in. Right, let's see what we have wrought. Yep. Okay, so what I do is I go okay, yeah, no. I'm going to leave it that way. All right, I'm going into VR, and you on my stream will see in a second my avatar will come drifting in. going in. All right, and voila, here I am. Yeah, that's me. Hi. So, yep, that's me waving. Woohoo. So it's working. Okay. Now I have one more chore I need to do. All right. So all right. Now I'm going to show the cards on the screen. Ta-da! Yeah. Now, what I do here is, all right. So, anyway, I took my headset off. There's AltSpace VR. I can continue. I can switch over to my tarot cam. But anyway, the VR thing won't start for about 20 minutes. But that's nice to get it all set and ready to go. Let me see something. So, all right. Oof, I need a snack before I go into more readings. I'm such a hungry monster. So anyway, yes, this VR thing I have kind of gotten to enjoy. Because, you know, people get into VR and it actually becomes very responsive, you know. They're right there, you know, and their avatar's head turns and looks at you, and I don't know, it's just more it's like you're standing in front of someone in a way. But I think it's really good for tarot readings. Yeah, there's somebody on Twitch streaming tarot. It's so funny. I look at it, and they're always up. They must stream like 24 hours a day. But there's always like a different person sitting behind the desk. And it's like they have a TV monitor behind them, and they have like an 800 number. They have a phone number showing. There's always somebody like sitting behind the desk doing tarot or something like. But it's like a really, like it's some kind of pro operation or something with. They cycle like readers in and out. It must be like a, you know, a card reader business that has people. I don't know, they must pay them to do it or something. But I see them all the time. It's so hilarious because there's that big phone number on there. It's like, yeah, let me call that number, see what happens. But I like looking at tarot streams because I like to see people set things up, like their tables, And you can tell, of course, looking at mine, I obviously enjoy setting up a little tarot table. But it's like some people, like, they do different styles, you know? And it's just interesting and fun to look at the different approaches around. And then some people read tarot and they're very like, oh, I don't care. It's like, this is just my computer desk. There's my bed in the background. Hasn't been made in 3 weeks. There's an old air conditioner hanging out of the wall. And I'm just doing tarot here, sitting on the floor. And those are kind of funny. I've seen those. Yeah, interesting. Everybody's different. I gotta eat some more crackers. I'm like, I need energy to do the readings coming up. All right. Getting things started. There we go. Got some cards up on the screen, and I think this is the way things should look at this point. Yeah. We begin in about 1 minute. Okay. So our event is beginning right now. Now, basically, welcome to VR, Tarot Temple in Alt Space. I have 3 cards on the screen at the moment. The 3 of Wands, the Chariot, and the 4 of Coins. The Chariot is all about seizing initiative, taking charge, getting things done, being the boss. Of course, being the boss doesn't necessarily mean being the boss of someone else. It can mean being the boss of one's very own self. The 3 of Wands, 3, activity, motion, doing, getting, making things. The 4 of Coins, security, strength, health, stability. So we have the call to take action. To move. To take action and make something, get something done. To take charge, to use that part of ourself in the middle card, the commanding force. Our true nature is active, strong, commanding. We're able to go out into the task and get it done without confusion. We seize initiative. We seize the day when we are the Chariot card. And that is what we're building on the right. We are building the foundations. We are building something solid that will last. Something that will help everyone. Something that will create safety and security. You know, we need that kind of thing now. We need bold initiative, action. We need someone who can get things built and secure in order to create a stabilized situation. Um, you know, I think we've seen in the world a lot of sort of weird upheavals. And what you get, though, instead of true strength, you get these, destabilizing authoritarian people. The people that are, a personality that becomes dominant and fearsome. And that is a distortion of the tarot card, of the chariot. The tarot chariot card can represent that kind of distorted, overly aggressive, domineering kind of unhealthy approach. But that's really not what tarot does. Tarot warns against excesses like that. It doesn't encourage them. So when it talks about a charioteer taking charge, taking the reins, it doesn't mean dominating others. It means having the capabilities that are required to accomplish tasks, to handle oneself, to handle one's own nature, one's, inner turmoil, to seize control of seemingly wild, uncontained power and forces, and to guide them. That's what the tarot is. The tarot exists to prevent wild extremes and dangerous conditions. It is there to sort of be a calming, enjoyable, philosophical meditation, basically. We don't have any visitors in VR. This is unusual. The other night, last week, people came in very quickly. Very strange. Let me make sure I'm amplifying my little paltry voice. Oh, here we are beginning to. Okay, the audio sometimes can be. It's an important thing to get right. So anyway, but yes, the Chariot card can sometimes represent domination and overly aggressive actions without consideration. Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi.
How are you doing, Alex?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Well, we do
How
tarot
are you
readings.
guys? Oh, I'm sorry for the dog. I'm gonna put myself on mute.
We do tarot readings here. So anyone that wants to can come in and ask a question, and then I will make the cards change on the big screen and do a tarot reading for anyone who wants one.
I would
So,
love them.
oh yeah, okay. So if you want, you go ahead and ask a question, and I am
Mm-hmm.
going to get my little pointer ready so that I can point at the cards properly. So give me 1 second just to get my tool set ready. Okay. Uh, they seem to have. I think AltSpace is having some problems. Hang on 1 second. Uh, Here we go. Okay. I've got my... There. Got my laser. Okay, now let me come over here. Okay, so now the idea is you ask any kind of question. I can do a very general reading, or you can be more specific, whatever. Oh no, I've lost my laser again. Shoot. You can ask any kind of question you like. Basically, is the idea. So
Okay.
go ahead and you think of something that you would like to ask, and then we will
Do
get
you
that.
Okay. So, do you see something for me in the near future, like career-wise?
Ah, okay. Career question. Good. Let's see. Pick a number between 1 and 5.
4.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Yes, of course.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Career-wise, the 3 cards, what we'll do is you can come over here to more to the center if you want. It'd be easier. The 3 cards, the card on the left represents basically something that you can move past and not worry about, that you can kind of just trust in and let go of. It's just already sort of there as part of you. And the middle card is something to think about in the present, something to focus on right now. And then on the right is coming up, something you're going to move toward. Now, we're talking about career wise. And on the left, you have the coins, and it's a big card. You're talking about the 8 of coins, and we're talking about there. That is career. That's money. That's the material aspects of life, finances, home, anything that you need or own, or it's your health, and all the physical realities of living are discussed in terms of the coin cards. And when you get to the 8, you've got this kind of perfection and balance, and kind of it implies also that perfection and balance require hard work and focus. So that 8 always implies a craftsman kind of working at what they are good at, always building and increasing in skill. Okay, so
Okay.
that 8 there says basically this is something that you may have already experienced, that you've already kind of understood, this hard work, this seeking of perfection and balance. In other words, competence, building your
Okay, I
your
can
own
relate.
abilities. Yeah. And so that card there is something you can basically rely upon that you have. Now, that moves you into something to really concentrate on. And you get into the realm of the wands, the creative fire energy in the tarot.
Ooh,
That sort
I
of,
like that.
yeah, it underlies your will to create, to make, to build, to be what it is you want to do in life. That kind of energy is in the wands. And the 3
Okay.
is the number that says, get up and do this thing. Take that
Okay, I
step.
see.
It says, instead of waiting, instead of planning, you basically now is the time to actually
To do.
go into motion. The 3 is highly active number. So creative activity is called for. And you have this kind of, you already have this sense of hard work at building your skills on the left there. So you take that and you put it into action in the middle card. Okay? Now,
Wow.
what that brings, what's coming around the corner when you take that kind of active initiative is the two, which is the coupling, which is the coming together of two things and it involves love. Now, because we're talking about career, that love typically tends to be loving what you do, getting
Wow.
closer to
Mhm.
what it is you love to do and feeling like you're doing what you were really here to do. And the two is a coming together of two things. And if we're talking about career, that could very easily mean a person and a job, a person and a particular place that they want to be for working, a person and a particular project, or a particular boss, or particular employees. Or it just has a general meaning of two things fitting together, and everything is right. And you find
Oh,
something about that coupling that really is inspiring and makes you feel good. That's why the Two of Cups appears. So it's a good line from hard work, seeking perfection, always demanding perfection, always moving toward higher accomplishment on the left, putting all of that skill and energy into an active step, leading to the meeting of you and another element which increases your sense of, I love what I do. Yeah, so
I
that's,
love it. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Team
Yes.
action. Thank you.
Very welcome. Good luck with all career things.
Woohoo. I'm excited.
I have to get this pointer. Altspace is so weird.
Yeah.
It's like I can't get this pointer off the floor. It's the most bizarre. Oh, there we go. Now it works. I sometimes Altspace I just can't figure out how things go. But
But it's amazing what you created here.
oh, this world, it's so funny because when you build these worlds and then you upload them to Altspace, you have to be so careful because the textures on things like the stone, it it doesn't look right the first like 12 times.
Wow.
You
I
know?
know. I know.
So
It
it's
looks amazing. It's
thank you.
a great job.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, eventually I'll add to it. I think. Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi. Good. Yeah, it looks good. I love it.
Well, if you would like a tarot reading, that's what we do here. You can ask basically any
Yeah.
kind of question you like. It can be general or anything really you want.
Mhm.
And then the reading
Yeah.
will be up there on the screen.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, my daughter used to do it for me, and she moved out of the house because she's
ah,
older now. But we
ah,
used to do it quite often. Yeah.
it's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I like doing that. Like,
Um.
you have a deck of cards and like friends might be over and you're just sort of,
Yeah.
yeah, it can be very entertaining actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
Ask anything you like if you want to.
Ask
okay.
anything.
Um. Okay. So I'm wondering about my location and what's going to be best for me and my family.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so
Location,
okay.
like with the career wise too, like
Okay.
um
So they
yeah.
kind of work together, location and career
Mhm.
and fam. Okay. All right. So pick a
Yeah.
number from 1 to 5.
1 to 5. I'll pick one.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Ready?
Mhm.
1. Okay. Now I'm going to mute microphones so I don't get feedback. And let's do this reading. So we're talking about location and career and family. You can come over here toward the fire if you want. Um, Now, on the left here, first of all, first thing that hits me right away is we've got two cup cards sandwiching a king. And you're talking about location and career. Okay. First of all, on the left, here's a quality of you, an element, a part of you that you can rely upon in this kind of decision, something that is innate to you that you can trust. In the middle is something to really focus on in the immediate term. And on the right is something that you are moving toward very rapidly. Now let's go back to the left. Something here, this seven of cups, we're talking about feeling, we're talking about the heart, what you love to do, where you want to be, your love for your family. This all is in one big piece, okay? And the 7 is kind of the number of getting a new kind of awareness, like you arrive at something that you never really quite understood before. And this could be partly to do with your career, partly to do with how you view the needs of your family, okay? And the 7 is this new awareness you've developed, okay? And you've basically been able to accept certain things. You've become aware of things about yourself and your family and your work and your feelings about work. But not only have you become newly aware of these things, but you're able to take this new understanding and use it beneficially. And they typically say the 7 is the number of like benevolent action in the world. Well, the world could be your family. It could be how your family and your career interact. And you're able, with the 7 of cups, to take what you love, what you love to do in your career and your love for your family, and benefit both of those things because you have new understanding that's taken time to get to, okay? New understanding, very likely about how you operate, okay? Now, you take these understandings, these new awarenesses, and you kind of go with them. They lead you toward a feeling of this is closer to what I really love to do, and that leads you into applying things in the present moment in this way that has a quality about it of the king of coins. And coins are an excellent career card because they're all about the material part of life. They're all about building the family home, keeping the home healthy, keeping the family healthy, keeping them safe and secure, keeping them confident, keeping everything together, building a house, buying a house, having money in the bank, being able to buy everything you need, food, health, taking care of your family, keeping everybody in the best possible condition, going to school. The coins are a very functional, earthy, material suit in the tarot. And the king is this sense of authority and control and understanding and ability and skill. So these new awarenesses that you've built over here, this new sense of following what you love to do and working for your love of family, all of that is reinforced by this sort of authority that works calmly, is relaxed. This king has his legs crossed. He's just not worried about how he's applying his skills. He's kind of got this ability to do things easily because he has strength, real confidence. So this card is saying keep that quality of real confidence in what you know, what you have, and apply it to your world of work and building a safe home for your family. And as you do that, as you apply that strength that you have, you get even closer to what you really love to do, and you get that really heightened sort of family feeling, the love of family, with this 9 of cups. Now, the 9 is sort of the number of you push through and you bring things to their completion. So if you are working with new understandings and applying your skills and strengths to your work and family and how you build that structure. As you do that, as you make those decisions about where to be for career, the cards are saying, keep a very close eye on the materialistic aspects of those kinds of decisions, the practical aspects. If you move to a different location for a certain job, what are the practical material aspects, the benefits, the pros, the cons of that move? That card is saying track all of that carefully, using all of the skill set and calm authority of this king character, who maintains control and doesn't do anything unless he understands it and kind of is able to see what the outcome will be. And if you do that, you will end up with this kind of overflowing sense of abundant love for what your status is in work, and your family fits into that. That 9, it also implies you have to apply your persevering qualities in order to make the complete step. So if you were to move for a job or something like that, it is going to take lots of effort. This king will say, okay, I've put the effort in, I've decided where to go based on all the facts. Now, the next thing to do is to push through all the work required to bring about this feeling of belonging at the end of the project. And that will take a little bit more work, which actually makes sense. If you do change location, in order to make yourself really comfortable in your new situation, that takes some emotional work to make yourself happy, But the cards are implying that is definitely coming, So, following that kingly, and remember, when we say king, we don't mean, a husband or a wife, or it just means that aspect of your own personality that has that kind of ability to make decisions in a wise, educated way. Yeah.
Oh, this is perfect because I was going to tell you before we started that, you have numbers that always come up frequently on everything.
Yeah.
You have that for yourself. Well, I do. So ever since I was young and up until now, I'll see the same 2 numbers. They'd be like always on my credit cards, always on a receipt, a license plate. You know what I mean? Like always there somewhere. Yeah. And those 2 numbers are 7 and 9.
Interesting.
And when I looked up and I saw right there the 7 and the 9, I'm like, holy shit, again. And it's my birthday too, because I was born in September in 1977. So I'm a Virgo, so I analyze every little thing.
1977 is the year Star Wars came out.
Yeah. And I was born the 9th month and the 9th day. So all my PIN numbers are, like I always see 9 and 7 everywhere.
Yes.
All the time, everywhere, my whole life.
And now you've seen them again. There they are.
Again. Not surprised at all. But it's very fitting because the past couple years I've been working on and trying to switch to working remotely full time and starting a life in Thailand.
Oh wow.
And figuring out how to bring my family and starting there and just traveling, but being able to do that with a remote position. Yes. And I have a few businesses on the side that I work on, but nothing. But I still work full time as like an accountant at a college, which I'm trying to stop. Right now.
I'm activating the hand. I just want to let everyone know I activated hand raises, so you can now hit the thing. So that's really great. The whole Thailand remote working thing.
Yeah.
Really good luck with all of that. That is awesome. And keep that 7 and 9 in mind, because
Those are
Yeah. And if
those.
I keep it
Yeah, those will really apply, I think.
Can you hear me?
Now let me
right, and like it
see.
says, if
Can
I
you hear me?
just keep persisting,
That's right. You have to
um,
persist.
you know,
Raise your hand.
on
We can.
other avenues that I'm going
Should we
towards,
stay
which
or
is
should we
outside
go?
of accounting, it's other things.
On the right
Yes.
hand
That's
side, raise your
Day,
hand.
yeah.
Day,
Can
it's
you
your
hear me?
turn. Come on over here.
Mhm.
That's really, really
Woohoo! All
good.
right.
Good
Oh,
metaverse.
Thank
Yes,
you.
really good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Day, so the way it works
that
here
was
is
really awesome.
is you just ask your question. It can be as
Yeah.
general as you like, and then I'll go over there to the panel and I'll make the cards do their thing and we'll do the reading.
Um, oh, okay. I guess my question is about uh finding balance in my life. Um,
Okay.
I am among my identities, I have three competing identities, being a wife, a mom, and myself, kind of
Okay.
struggling with finding balance.
Ah, I gotcha. Okay, pick a number from 1 to 5.
Come up something.
7.
No, just 1 to
Oh,
5.
5. 1 to 5. 1 to 5. 2.
Raise your hand.
Okay, hang on a second.
Oh, I don't know what that has. Okay, I'm gonna raise my hand now.
Okay. Finding that sense of
Going on mute.
balance. All right, so I'm going to mute microphones because I always get some feedback if I don't. And let me pick up my laser pointer so I can point at these things. Okay, so finding that balance, you mentioned like 3 different parts of you. Let's think about that. There's there's your working self, there's your family self, there's your being a spouse self, all of those things. And yes, they how you find your true sort of persona in the world, with these different roles that you play, is sometimes harder than people think. Now, let's look at what the cards are sort of hinting at. We see a lot of sort of ability. We also see a lot of learning, and we see a lot of feeling and love. Now let's break it down a little bit. On the left here, something innate to you that's built into you that you can rely on in making this kind of a decision or finding yourself, so to speak. This King of Cups, the cup is your heart. The cup is what you love. It can also be who you love. It can be how you feel, all those feelings you have for your family, feelings you have for your work, all that emotional life that plays a role in these 3 different roles of yours and finding your center. That king, he knows, he kind of understands the ways of the heart and how things go up and down, and it doesn't worry him. So you have, even though you feel like you want to find the center and you feel like there's some confusion, at the same time, you have this ability to kind of go with what your heart is telling you without panicking. You kind of are willing to investigate your feelings. And that's a big strength. The king represents a strength, big, big strength, and an ability to put that strength to use. And in your case, it would be putting it to use in your work and for your family and for yourself. So all working together. And the king is very good at dividing up responsibilities, at sharing things between different groups, different tasks. He's very good at managing tasks. That's what kings are. They're very good at managing. So your ability to manage and juggle these different demands on you is an innate ability that you have that maybe other people may recognize even better than you do about yourself. But that king is not worried about the ups and downs of his heart. He's in a calm sort of a position of authority, and he's got that cup there on his knee, and it's just not really bothering him. No matter what he finds in it, even if he freaks out and has a bad day and has a bad feeling, it doesn't really worry him in the long run. because he knows that his decisions are going to be made carefully, okay? Because he can find his center. He trusts that if he can't find it today, he may find it next week, he may find it next year. He's going to find it. Bottom line. So that assurance is something you can keep. Now that brings you to kind of the present moment, something to sort of really focus on. Well, this is a page, and the page is of coins, and pages just automatically, almost universally, represent kind of young, undecided, yet enthusiastic learning. They don't quite know which direction they're going, just like you don't. They don't quite know how to find themselves, their center. They haven't yet done what the king has done. You have the king's skill. You're going to get there because you have that ability. But there's something about this scenario you're dealing with now where there's an aspect of this young person who wants to get there, but just doesn't quite know yet how. He doesn't know himself yet. He kind of represents you in this moment of your question. And he's looking at the coins, which are very much career. They're very much money, career, and how you build the family home. Anything that you build to make your life situation stable and secure and to give you everything you need is talked about in the coins. And this card is saying, if your feet are both pointed in two different directions because you're undecided about exactly who you are, don't worry about it because the page doesn't worry. The page's self-confidence is different than the king's because he is young and less informed, okay? But it doesn't worry him either. He has this enjoyment and almost naive confidence that, hey, I'm going to get there eventually. I'm going to figure this out. And so the card is basically saying, keep that enjoyment in mind. The confusion of finding yourself while juggling different personas is not a negative thing. It's actually a positive thing. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process of finding yourself rather than feeling that you have to do it. Okay, the page doesn't feel like I have to do this because, oh my gosh, if I don't, the whole world will collapse. No, he's not. He's like, I just want to. And so that's what the card is hinting at as a frame of mind. Okay. And then it says, if you keep that confidence in your abilities represented by the king, and you keep that enjoyment of the process of making your decisions and learning about yourself, you will come to this heightened feeling, this increase of love represented by the 7 of Cups on the right. You will find a heightened awareness, new realizations about yourself that will become obvious. But the key with the 7 and all of that heightened awareness is that you're able to take it and bring it and lay it out there on the table for the people around you to benefit all of them, which in the context of your question, career, family, implies that the feeling you find for understanding of who you are yourself and balancing your work and family leads to increased, heightened awareness of just how much you love all of these things. Now I'm going to unmute the mic. The key really, I think, for your present question is the general attitude of that page in the middle.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so accurate.
Well, these are just, these are hints, basically.
I think what resonates most is the King of Cups. Your point about saying, like, hey, like, this king's not worried about the details. The king has an intuitive understanding of where he's going, and
Yeah.
he knows that things are going to work out. Like, I think it's balancing the delta between the king and the page, like the parts of me that I know that I have all the tools and the abilities to get there. It's just the parts of the page in me, the king and the delta between the king and the page in me, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep. Yep. But the page is
I'm
also
working
saying,
on that.
don't even worry about the confusion, because it's just a process that you can enjoy, because you're going to get there no matter what anyway. So
Wow, thank you so much.
you're very welcome. Now, let me see. I have. Okay, so now. Yolanda 98 has a hand up. Yolanda 98. There you are. Hi, Yolanda. How are you? Is your microphone on, by the way?
Oh, sorry. I'm
There
here.
you go. Hi.
Hello.
So you can ask whatever you like, and then we will look at that huge, giant, crazy screen.
Okay. Will I achieve the specific goals that I set for myself this year?
Goals. Okay. Is there a general sort of area that the goals are in?
Will I be able to relocate to the place to where I want to move to,
Okay.
and to be successful in this new area?
Okay, good. Okay, pick a number for me from 1 to 5.
3.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to make the cards change. Hold on 1 second. One, 2, 3. Okay. Well, this turns out to be an interesting set of cards. Okay. I'm going to mute microphones. Now,
Okay.
relocating, being successful in a new location. You have here number cards all. And number cards tend to be less permanent than other cards. They're sort of the ups and downs, waves, ripples on the water surface. They come, they go, they change on a shorter term basis than other things. So these are relatively quickly developing things. Now, we have wands on both ends and swords in the middle. That's creative energy and intellectual mind energy. Okay. On the left, let's talk about something that we can kind of let go and move past because it's there. It's part of your equation. Okay. 10 wands, the fire, the source of your drive to be what you want to be, to make what you want to make, to do the work that you want to do. It's that energy that pushes that, the instinct to create. Anything you want to build or make of yourself, or make out of an object, anything you want to write, all of that is driven by an urge to build and create, which is represented by the wands. And the 10 implies this ability to finish, to actually take all of the steps required to complete things. It's not as easy to do as you would think. There are many, many people who begin things and they begin and begin and begin over and over again. Okay? It's not easy to pass through all of the stages required to bring things to real fruition. But that card is representative of that ability in you to do that, to see a goal. I want to write this poem. I want to sing this song, and to do what's necessary to get there and do it. That's part of you. The cards are saying, let's rely on that. Let's assume that that's our base. Now, in the present moment, your doubts, your wonderings, those are all represented by swords. You have thoughts that are in conflict in your mind. Swords are all about conflict, how you express things to people, how you resolve things, how you arrive at decisions. All of that is swords. And this is a 9, which is very close to the 10 on the left. The 9 is the number just prior to finishing. It's the last stretch before the finish line, where you're out of breath, you're exhausted, you don't think you can get there, you don't think you can make it, you think you're running in the Olympics, and you think, oh my gosh, no, I can't get to the finish line. I'm in the lead, but I'm going to collapse and fall down and lose the race. That 9 is that. It's that last bit of strength to push and get everything through to the final stage to get to that completion of the 10. And what the swords are telling you is this has a lot to do with how your mind is working right now. The thoughts going through your head, the struggle to like make decisions, and this pondering of the problem, this making of the decision and all the elements that go into that decision. Keep that effort up. Keep thinking about it. Keep examining the pros and the cons, basically. Keep doing your analysis, because that's very important. And if it's done correctly and you spend that energy to make a wise decision, it will lead you to the Ace of Wands, the exact opposite of the 10 of Wands over on the left, which means a new cycle begins. A whole new thing opens up creatively in what you want to do and accomplish. And it comes up and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a whole huge opportunity now that I have. That's what the Ace of Wands represents, enormous opportunity. Another word is enormous potential. Makes itself known to you in an undeniable way, because you have put the work in. You have thought it through. That's what the 9 of swords in the center is saying. Think it through. Don't get distracted. Focus. And you will get there, and you will arrive at this new, enormous potentiality in your creative work on the right. So the tarot doesn't tell you what to do or what will happen. It says, here are the kinds of inspirations, things that will get you there, that will help get you there, the hints that push you along towards something. That's what tarot is really good at. Yeah. So success.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. Success is implied. The Ace is such potential and such new opportunity that it's saying, well, okay, so sure, you may not, there's nothing specific about succeeding after that point, but it's saying you're going to have everything you need. You're going to have this opportunity. And then, of course, because you have all this ability to persevere and push through and finish things, the implication is, well, why would that change in the next cycle? Of course, those are still going to be there. Yeah. So.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good luck with your change and everything that comes after it.
Thank you.
I see someone called Vadatron. Vadatron? Oh, Vadatron, hi, how are you? Is your microphone on?
I'm still muted, yes.
There you go. I can hear you.
There you go. All right. You've been doing such an amazing job. I thought to raise my hand and pop here anyway. That's fantastic readings,
Thank you.
especially the 7 and 9 that
Oh
happened.
yeah,
He was talking
yeah,
about. It's like,
yeah,
wow, it was mind blowing. I loved it. I
yeah,
loved it. So I really had to just. It was actually easy to come up. I want to start a new project. Okay,
yeah,
like an app, like a mobile app, web app, or something like that.
yeah.
And yeah, I was thinking that maybe you can do a reading for me and see.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think it has a huge potential and stuff, but I don't know.
So
Just
you're
thought to
you're
let you know.
beginning or thinking about
I haven't started.
beginning, right? So
But the
basically a
idea
new
is in my
project.
head. I haven't started.
Ah,
Yes, yes, I
okay.
haven't started.
So
I like to think that it's a new idea and it's a really, really can
yeah,
be that can have a huge potential.
yeah.
But you know what? Let's do a reading and see how it is.
Okay, pick a number from 1 to 5.
5 indeed.
5. Okay, I'm gonna
Yes.
move these cards
Thank
around
you.
5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, fascinating. Let me get my pointer.
Fascinating.
I keep forgetting my pointer. I'm going to mute microphone so I don't get feedback again, of course. And let me get my... There we go. It's working again. Okay. New project. Something that you're thinking, that you have in your imagination, that's not yet an existent thing, but you want it to be, and you want that sort of how do I have a chance of success with this? Is this a path to follow? Okay, let's look at the cards. What we have a major card and 2 court cards. So this is actually a pretty significant these are more long-term effects, especially the card on the right because it's a major. Now, on the left here, we have an aspect, a quality of you, something that we can kind of assume and build on. Quality, the card in the center is something to really put your mind on in the immediate sense. And the card on the right, where you need to move toward. Something you may need more of, where you're headed. Okay, let's look at the left. We got 2 material cards here with 2 coin cards next to each other. These are very material, very success-oriented, very career, project-oriented, work-oriented. This is the work you do. If you're building apps, if you're building anything, it's the career sort of mode, the effort to build that in, to build that. It's the financials also behind it. It's future reward, it's investment, anything that has to do with the material. It's office space, the materials you need to build an app, the computer you need. All of that is sort of consumed by this suit of the coins. Now, the character here is the knight. And knights don't do anything halfway. They don't do anything lazy. They don't hesitate. They get up, they get on the horse, they charge out, and they're like, hey, 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 here I come, let's do it. There's no hesitation in the knight. Active. They put energy into their work. That's what this character is doing and suggesting. Taking command and putting all of your resources and energy, all of your material self, whatever is required to do this job, you do. Now this is saying this is something you've already done before. You know what this feels like. And you can call upon this aspect of yourself. You can call upon that ability in this circumstance. And that brings us to something to keep your mind on now, like tomorrow morning as you move forward. And you get into the king. So you move from knight to king of coins. So you take action, you move boldly, you seize the day, you put what you have into the work, and you arrive at very skillful, wise, considered decisions. Mastery. You call upon your mastery, your set of skills that you know you have, that you've used before, and you put them to immediate use, and you make well-considered decisions that you are clearly prepared to make. You rely upon things that you are clearly prepared to do. You have what's required, in other words, like the king does. And to not worry about this, to just focus on this work and take charge. Make the decisions that need to be made. The king doesn't wait for someone else to make the decision. Both of the knight and the king are both. The knight is more active and physical. The king is more methodical and decision-oriented. But he makes the decisions. He doesn't need any kind of confused, oh, but what if, the sky falls if I don't quite get this right? No, he is taking control. Now, the next card, and what this wise in control guy here is looking toward, what they're both looking toward actually, from a sort of a layout perspective, just accidental, but the tarot is all about accident. They are both looking at this kind of weird guy over here who is called the Hermit. Now, this is the biggest card in the reading. This is a major arcana card. This is a deep-seated, very kind of unchanging aspect. The Hermit seeks. The Hermit never says, I know it all. I have it all figured out. The Hermit basically is the guy that comes back to the king, and this can be an internal process just in you, but he comes back to the king and he says, hey, hang on a second. Yeah, your decision seems wise, but have you thought about it from this other odd angle? Have you really explored the depths of your own decision-making process? Do you really understand why you're making this decision? This Hermit card is saying that kind of exploration and seeking and self-knowledge is essential, is going to be essential at some point coming up soon, as a deciding factor in how this all progresses. Now, when you're building apps and highly technical things where you have a lot of technical, precise work to do based on knowledge and skill, but apps are very, very flaky things because you have no idea how people are going to react to them or how they're going to use them. It's like you design software, and then one of the hardest things to do is to figure out how the user will actually use what you've built. Is putting that button there actually going to be what most people find most comfortable? Also, is this app really solving a problem for people, or is it really giving them something? The Hermit is that guy in the meeting that keeps saying, wait, have we really explored fully what this entails, or why we're doing this or that? Why are we building this module in the app instead of that module? Why are we building the app at all? Have we considered that fully? Now, yes, the king makes wise decisions, but the king makes those wise decisions because he calls upon the Hermit. The king acknowledges his own self-doubt. Okay? He always is willing to hear. He's like the CEO at the table, and he's in the meeting, and he's in charge, and he can make any decision he wants. But that weirdo that sits 3 seats down, who's always a pain in the butt in every meeting and comes up with the most asinine, silly comments, the king is always like, wait a second, what does that guy have to say? And he listens. And that guy who comes up with the weird comments in every meeting that everybody else goes, who is that idiot? What is he talking about? That guy is the guy the king's listening to. And that's how the king makes really good decisions. And this can apply in software development very, very, very easily. So keep that in mind. You've got this highly active ability to take charge and go out and just get it done. Just start the project because you want to. Bang. There you go. It's launched. Then you've got this ability to sit down and make wise decisions, but that wise decision maker never loses sight of the kind of oddball who wants to go a little bit deeper to figure out really what we're doing and how to do it. And it's just saying, don't forget that. And that is what will see you through to do something better than the other person building an app would do it. Because if you don't listen to that hermit, you don't get that other point of view. So now I'm going to unmute the mic.
Oh, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. Well, I knew that there's gonna be a secondary person on those cards, because that secondary person is like really standing over there.
Oh, really?
And they always talk. Yeah, she's my go-to person, and just say, hey, how about this? How about that? I have this idea and all that. I'll always run it by.
Oh, there you go.
Always.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's my other half. But it's really good. I'm really glad that you read it this way, because the way I read it was like, oh my God, I have so much energy on the horse going forward, then I have some doubts, and I'm dying trying. So
No, you got to remember this.
Like, okay.
The hermit, he carries that lamp for a reason. He in almost every version of the hermit, in almost every deck of tarot, he has some sort of a light source, which is the illuminating mind. He is seeker. He's the seeker of truth, and he's willing to be the oddball, and he's willing to be alone. He's willing to be the total loner. That's why he's called the hermit. But sometimes when you're in the real world, and people who come up with these questions or seek a little deeper, they're often sort of considered, oh, that's kind of that guy's a little weird, or that woman's she always comes up with these odd like thing. Well, yeah. That's what, Steve Jobs didn't do what he did without listening to oddballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had to in order to.
Totally.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure lots of people are probably waiting. Oh, where did everybody go? Oh, there's.
No, I don't think it. Okay. I think we're.
You got to raise your hand if you want a reading, guys.
Yeah, the hand raise thing. I always. Here we go. Thank you, because actually, Chels rose a hand.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and good luck with your entire process.
Thanks. I'll let you know how it goes.
Excellent. Absolutely. I come back here anytime, and I think this is Chels right here. Yes. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. It's your turn to ask whatever you would like to ask.
So I'm wondering if I should keep working on my PhD when I finish my master's. I'm kind of at a crossroads with that.
Yeah. So you're going to finish your master's,
yeah,
and whether or not to move forward with a PhD, which is even more work. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get a number from you from 1 to 5.
3.
3. Okay. Hold on a second. I'll go over here and do this thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let me mute mics and pick up my laser pointer again. Okay. Whether to move forward with a PhD after having done all the work for the masters. Okay. Right away, we are presented with creative energy and feeling and the heart. Immediately, what I think of when I'm talking about education, PhD, putting work into something like that, you have to know what it is you love, and that's why we're seeing cups. Those are all about the heart. Now let's talk about the cards individually. On the left, here's a quality, an aspect of you that is assured, that is something you can draw upon as you make this decision. In the middle is something to really focus on and put into action, and on the right, where it's going. Page, valet de bâton, page of wands. Those are learners. Pages are learners. Pages have doubt and confusion, and they don't care because they're enjoying it. They're just loving the hell out of the whole process of figuring it all out. They're very enthusiastic learners. They are incredibly representative of students. That's their thing. The wand he's holding, it's creative energy. He's got it there. He's kind of sort of measuring it up like, oh, I've got this tool. I've got this capability. I'm not even sure how to pick this thing up off the ground and swing it over my head and bring it down. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet, but I really like the fact that it's here and I can use it whenever I want to. And he's not worried. He's kind of happy about this whole thing. He's looking off. He's looking over into the horizon. What's next? Where am I going to apply this club or this wand? Where am I going to apply my creative energy? The wands are the drive that you have built into you to make certain things, to be a certain thing, to write a certain thing, to build a certain thing, to write a PhD perhaps, to finish a master's degree. All of that energy to accomplish those things is in the fire symbol of the wand. And he represents the real love of learning, of figuring it all out, going through the process of getting a degree. He is the eternal student. He represents student in every best aspect of the word. Now that brings us to the present moment, which is the 5 of wands. Again, the creative fire energy. It's that energy. How do I apply it? Well, all of a sudden the 5 has come in, and the 5 destabilizes. It unsettles. It says enough of the security of the 4. You know, the 4 poster, the solid, stable foundation, security, comfort. No, that's all gone because something new has arrived, and now we don't know what to do with this new thing. How am I going to put this to work? If I'm getting a master's degree, and now this opportunity to go for a PhD, to work on a PhD has presented itself, oh my gosh, what do I do? Oh God, what's this going to do to my life? Should I start working instead? There are all these things that probably go through a person's mind when they're making that kind of decision. And this is basically it's representing that discomfort. But what the 5 in the tarot always does is it says, wait a second, you're just looking at the effect of the 5 being destabilizing and a little unsettling, confusing. But the 5 is actually the moment of growth potential. That's why the blossoms come springing out on each side. It's the arrival of the new element that's a little discomforting is the element that's required to create the next big movement, the next stage of development. And it's basically saying, pay attention to that and use that energy creatively. seek that. And as you maintain the enthusiastic learning attitude of the student on the left in applying your creative energies, and you use that enthusiasm even while dealing with unsettling questions and new things, it leads you to the card on the right, which is this highly active sense of finding what you really love and are supposed to be doing. But the 3 is not just sitting there and enjoying it. The 3 is highly work motivated. The 3 is the number of incredible effort, of having prepared. The 2 is all about preparation and coupling and coalescing, coming together. And the 3 is the exploding outward into action. And it implies that that is what makes you happy, because it's the cups. That exploding forward into action is the true element of happiness. So the student, continuing to learn in spite of his confusion, fully enthusiastic about the way forward, gets through discovering new things that are somewhat nerve-wracking, but they provide so much potential for growth that you go into increased action and you actually find yourself fully enjoying and discovering what it is you really love to do, or what it is you love to write about or think about. That's what that card on the right is offering. Yes, so.
Thank you. That was great.
Well, I mean,
Now I have a lot of thinking to do.
well, I mean, you're going to have a lot of thinking to do no matter what. If you write a PhD, you're going to have to do a lot of thinking. You know, you're going to have
That's
to,
right.
yeah. And these cards are saying that's okay. Doing a lot of thinking, as long as you keep that enthusiastic love of learning going, all that thinking is just going to be a process that you're going to enjoy anyway. And it's just going to lead you right into that really active life of loving what you do. And I don't know, maybe the loving what you do is the PhD, or it's what you discover that you love to do by writing the PhD. It could be that whatever,
Right.
yeah, you know, there's some element in the PhD that leads you to some specific thing after, some path. But yes, the implication is very active and very much enjoying what it is you're doing there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And since I always manage to go a little late on these things because I talk too much. So I will leave you here. I'm going to run now. Thank you for coming. And really good luck with your master's and your PhD if you go that way.
Thank you.
I'll see you. Good night.
Night.